warm, it's tropical, it's Queenslandy. But I'm in Victoria, just in case you don't know. That's Alfie, that's somebody else. That's the ocean, bit of rain, sprinkling, but it's about 20 degrees. It's going to get up to 27. I fucking love this weather. Anyway, I've come on to discuss something very important, which is dog shit. It relates to really the human condition and just about what, you know, how we operate with each other. It's not really about dog shit, but it's a great place to start on that subject. My dog shits, it's true, and he does it on this beach, and he does it on footpaths occasionally, but mostly on the beach because he's here every day. Are you bored yet? Don't be, because I think it's interesting. So what I've decided in my life is that I will decide when I should pick it up. If he goes up into the dunes and finds a bush and shits in there, and I know there's no people traffic, I'll decide to let nature take care of that. Hang in there, hang in. And if the weather is, you know, ominous and there's a storm coming, that's even more reason to leave it off track. You know, there's the environment, your situation, which is constantly changing, and you make adjustments accordingly. But there's a rule that says your dog poos, you need to pick it up, and I get that, it makes sense. But I decide when it's valuable and when it's not valuable. I decide when it's relevant. And so what's been happening lately, it's usually the old fucking farts. Like me, even older though, generally. The first one was just people shouting, hey, your dog's sat over there. And it's up in the dunes, and I go, that's all right, don't worry about that. You know, there's rain coming, or I can see he's done it in a bush, so it's fine. No one's there, it's no path there, no access. Only dogs dash in and out of there. It's fertilizer, for fuck's sake. It'd be gone in days. Anyway, if I happen to say, don't worry about it, they get quite abusive. There was one guy just shouting insults. This particular guy didn't have a dog. He was massive. He was an obese dude that sat on the bench. Took up the whole bench with a cane. My dog, that one, did a poo up behind him in the bushes, really at the back of these sheds, and there's no access for anyone to get through there. He just finds his way up there and has his shit. He wants to do it out the way. Hey, your dog, we've done our shit. No, just same thing. It's all right, mate. It's fine up there. I'm not going to worry about that. I don't think he could have got there if he tried. But anyway, the reason I say this, I discussed the weight, is because he turned around to me and shouted across the beach, "You're a turd." He called me a turd. He abused me, verbally abused me. And I just said to him, look at yourself. And, you know, my wife wasn't you shouldn't have said that, you know, because, you know, he's fat and that's offensive. He called me a fucking piece of shit. A turd. And I thought it was ironic, the fact that he could barely walk and was Jabba the fucking Hutt, and he called me a turd. So I said, look at yourself. And it's a reminder, I didn't abuse him. I didn't even swear at him. I tried to explain to him. But what happened was, and I'm getting to my point, is there was another old guy that does it. He's got a beach house here, and he'll yell out if my dog does something, you know, and I'll pick up if it's anywhere near anyone. I'm there. I've picked up so much shit I couldn't weigh it. Oh, the rain's picking up. Anyway, what's happening is people get license. It was very much, to me, reminded me so much of the pandemic, where because there are rules and laws and bylaws and, you know, protocols that everyone agrees on, which they don't, everyone's got variations on that. People give themselves license to publicly, in front of everyone, across a beach that's got people all over it, to abuse you. And that happened when I didn't wear a mask, or if I didn't social distance, or if I didn't get jabbed, if I didn't lock myself down, if I didn't do any of those things. People got license. Get them. So it was called virtue signaling, and they knew that they would have support from other people. Good on you. Yeah, you should have called him a turd because, you know, he let that dog turd stay up in that sand dune. So the choice I have is to just comply and go, oh, I'll acquiesce, you know, just to stop him abusing me. Well, that ain't going to happen, you know. That ain't going to happen. Not because I'm just being stubborn and belligerent and this is all petty. It's because it's really important. It's what we have to do for ourselves constantly, is make decisions about what we think is the best, the most practical, the safest, the most considerate way of dealing with any situation. It's your choice. And if your choice impacts someone else, ergo they're going to step in a piece of shit, then of course there's implications for that. If it's not, then it's still your choice. And I think what happened during the pandemic was that people got that license because my choice was impacting everyone. It was killing Nonna. So they created this falsehood that allowed people to do it on such a scale because we were a threat. When of course it was all a lie. If there was anything, it was a common flu, because that disappeared on the day, and we know that. And no one gets fucking angry if you walk around sneezing or coughing, as long as you don't cough in people's faces. But it's totally acceptable that, you know, the body detoxes and you might be in the vicinity. This is not about germ theory or terrain theory. It's just about how they weaponized that. They were able to get people to really turn on one another. Back to the dog shit though. There is no such threat, but people have already got that idea that there's a rule. It's in the rules. It's a law, and they will tell you. Oh, let's go back this way, Alfie. Someone's fishing on the rocks there. A lot of fishing out there. I'll just spin around, have a little look. I love it when it's like this. Do I fish myself? I haven't been fishing for months. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Come on. Come on. So, yeah, there is no excuse for abusing someone because you don't see something the way they see it. If it's not harming you, if it's a victimless crime, then fucking mind your business. So anyway, that's all going to get harder and harder to do, isn't it? We've now got an Australian CDC. Segway. We've actually taken on the Centre for Disease Control in America and embedded it here. The most corrupt, duplicitous and fucking farmer-owned, toxic fucking organisation under the banner of One Health. Remember that, One Health. So that ties in the biosphere and, you know, the biology, public health. You will lock down because there's a climate crisis. They can lock you down on that shit. And that's what they're doing with One Health. They're going to put it all into one fucking basket. This is the whole point. Centralize, centralize. Under the guise of efficiency, convenience, safety, and health. And they're all lies. Anyway, that's coming to town. That's been established, signed off in Parliament just yesterday or the day before. We have our own CDC. And most people could give a two fuckety fucks because they're not going to advertise it too loudly. On it goes. So yeah, you won't be making up your choices. You won't be having an opinion on what you think's best for you. They will. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'll just face your eye while I try and do it. You ready? Oof. Ah, well, that's all right. I'm okay. Don't know what that noise was. Sorry. It's the first live one of that. I'm a little bit blocked up. I caught a virus. I'm viral. This pathogen got to me and attacked me. And my body's fighting. The immune system's wrestling with it right now. Sorry, can't help take the piss out of that. I'm having a little detox. My body's doing its thing. It's working perfectly. It's doing what it needs to do. A little bit of phlegm in the lungs and the head. Go see a doctor. Get some medication. Anti-inflammatories, antihistamines. Quick, treat it, treat it, treat it. Don't. Go for a walk. Breathe. Keep up your fucking nutritional levels, or just stop eating altogether. Let your body do its thing if you need to. Anyway, I'm off topic, but you know, started with the dog shit. It's all dog shit, isn't it? So I think it's really important, and some people are going to hate what I'm going to say, but I ride without a helmet. I even ride on the footpath, but I do it so safely I'm going at walking pace. I'm taking up less space, and I stop if anyone's coming in that might be, you know, intimidated, because people do some bizarre things when you're not walking your bike. They stand back like 10 feet as if you're fucking carrying a bomb. So they can't just walk past the bike, because it could be dangerous, you see, because you're riding it. And you're not supposed to be on the footpath, and they're letting you know, oh, you're not supposed to be on here, so I'm just going to get right off the footpath so you can go past. Signaling, virtue signaling. People taking photos, but I crawl along at the most safest pace. Not like in the Netherlands, Vietnam, or other cycle nations. They just pedal like crazy. I love all that, but I don't do that here. And I don't wear a helmet. It's my fucking head. I'm going at such a slow pace. I'm very competent on a bike, and it keeps me cooler. People shout from their cars, "Helmet!" Literally. So I point to my penis. I go, "There's one on the end of my fucking dick." Sorry, but you know, what was I going to say? And people believe there's a security in staying in line, behaving accordingly with the compliance. If you do that, we'll all be safe. I'll remind people, I've been at traffic lights, and I don't wait for them. If there's no cars, I don't push a button. If someone else has, I'll cross the road when I see the traffic's clear. I've seen people fucking push that button, the little green man comes on, and they step into traffic, but the car coming hasn't bothered to stop. And barely they survive. And there was a woman who was, a few years now, was just wiped out on her bike. She followed the signals without checking herself to see if that car was stopped first. I just trust myself. I don't trust other people's behaviors. I'll trust mine. I'll look after myself. I hope this isn't too boring, but it's really important because it connects to everything we're doing. It's about our own well-being. It's about our health. It's about your independence, your sovereignty. And people have been conditioned that if we all do the same thing, we're all going to be okay. It's a fucking rort, you know? Absolute rort. I'll just stop yanting. There's someone coming the other way. It's very quiet on the beach now. We've just gone past the hours. What is it? I can't see. Yeah. We're supposed to be off the beach now. Another good example. I'll just show you. It's after 10 o'clock now. The hours are shorter because it's summer. There's my dog, Alf, and there's that beach. And there's no dogs on it. There might be one up the other end there. But, you know, everyone gets off at the right time. And that's a good idea. So if this beach was busy and it was a sunny day and it was a weekend or any particular day when there was going to be people, you know, with their food out and their blankets and families, I'd be off the beach in a jiffy jab. Even if it was in the dog hours, I just decide this is not good anyway. Even though he's allowed to be off the lead, there's too many people, I take him off. So I'll take him off early, I'll take him off late. It doesn't matter. I'm deciding on my... Hey, Alfie. Alf, come here. What do you think? When should we get off the beach? Never. Anyway, I'll decide. And I'm doing that now, so... Someone may shout from the sidelines here on the beach, "Hey, put that dog on a lead." Because why? Have a look. Because it's the rules, not because the beach is busy. Anyway. Go on my page. I post. I don't know if I shared it yet. I might not have actually. There's a lawyer, that Graham Hood, on Hoodie's Heroes, or Graham Hood's page. He's been at the forefront of the legal confrontations with the big pharma and the vaccinations and trials, and he's Aaron Siri or something like Ari Siri. I can't remember his name. Sorry, but just check Graham Hood. It's one of his recent days. It's a 2-hour interview. Very generous with his time, but just a fantastic expose on the corruption. Oh, there's a dog off the lead. Yay! A fellow bandit. Have a look at that. And he talks about how the system works. The business model for Big Pharma is, of course, that they have indemnity, of course, but they need to get licensure before they can Once they've got licensure, they have indemnity. If they don't get licensure, then they can't put it out into the public sphere. So what they've got is this process where they can do tests and trials that have to satisfy the FDA, but those tests and trials are so underdone, are so corrupted, are absurdly fucking inadequate. But they get approved, they get licensure, and they can then send it out into the public. So the data comes in, the metadata comes in much later and shows how fucking terrible it all is, but by then it's too late because they have they've got their licensure and they're safe to go ahead. It's really interesting in a lot of ways how simple that model is, because as we know, if you were a airline, you know, and one of your planes wasn't functioning properly, the whole fleet would come down. But we know that the fucking devastation from this is beyond belief and off the record, a lot of it. But they've got licensure, they've got indemnity, and so it continues. But it's a 2-hour interview, and I know most people glaze over memory hole because we're full of this shit. And we don't really want to look back on it because we're still standing and breathing. We believe it's because of this shit. And it reminds us that vaccines literally have a cult following, a belief system. People literally say, I believe in vaccines. And he reminds Aaron Siri, the lawyer, reminds people they're a product. They're just a product. You shouldn't believe in a product. Each one should be accepted on their merits or rejected on their merits. But the word vaccine just nullifies all that. People just go, well, they saved us from polio, which is a fucking lie. But the history books are written. The way measles has become this massive killer now. They're plugging the measles idea without any risk benefit to the amount of people that the benefits of catching measles and having lifetime immunity, as opposed to taking a product which may or may not give you immunity on the terms of that particular strain, but also have risk factors, adverse events, long-term injury, all those risks. But anyway, I don't want to get caught up in that. It's better to listen to that person who understands it, who's really been, for over a decade, has been unpacking this stuff with the help of some of the best virologists in the world, which he references. One guy, I cannot remember, can't remember his name. He was in Africa. He's the most renowned, the most famous of all virologists. They have institutions named after him, and there's a gavel they use in wherever it is in some university that's got his name on it, because such is his notoriety and his contribution to virology. And he decided one day that he was going to he'd done these Alfie! Oh, he did these vaccine programs in Africa, and he realised that but inadvertently there was data available where he was, where he could look at the data over many years for a whole country that had zero vaccines for their children, and then the vaccinated country that he had contributed the vaccines and had overseen that vaccine program. And he had that data of the two, and the results were overwhelming, fucking overwhelming, that they got 10 times more chance of death for a child to have been in part of the vaccination group, for those who weren't in the vaccination group. And he was horrified, this metadata, and he took it to this revered fucking icon of virology, took it to the CDC or the FDA, I don't know, probably the CDC, I can't remember exactly which acronym fucking institution it was. And they fucking memory hold it, they shelved it. Had he come up with some fraudulent test that showed how 100% fucking brilliant it was, they would have put it straight out there immediately. So any studies that complement the profit-making, power-hungry fucking manufacturers gets published. Anything that goes against that is, even if you're the top of your field, gets memory hold. Just recently, Channel 9 have just, I love Channel 9, but it's mainstream media, and you know when they start putting out stuff that contradicts what they've been saying previously, that they can't keep the lid on it anymore. And so they've just released data studies that are showing here in Australia that cancer is, for those that have taken the COVID vaccine, is 20% higher overall. But if you're in the, I might get these numbers wrong, but I think I've got it right. If you're in the 29 to 49 age group, it's 500 times more likely to catch or get turbo cancer. That's their data, not Channel 9's. They've got it from the TGA, or not TGA, but not the regulators, but whoever those studies came from. They've put it on there. And even if you disregard or don't believe it, surely it's worth questioning it, checking in with it, because they are studies. And now it's on your favourite network. They put it out there and then they shut the fuck up and put it away. All right, we've done it, we delivered that, no one's paying attention. Onward! So 29 to 49, guess what? That's the most mandated group. That's the working group. Those people that had the highest mortgages, will have homes and families and kids, wives and fucking husbands and commitments. Right at that age group, we're the most coerced of any group. And cancer through the roof. But there's indemnity now. And there's trials behind COVID that are completely fraudulent, but it doesn't matter. They got licensure and now they've got indemnity. They can go back over that and argue. We can argue about that while they keep pouring the shit out, trying to lock things down, get the CDC over here, change your legislation. One Health can start fucking, consolidating itself. The noose is round the neck. Hurry up. Hurry up. Fuck. Because they have indemnity. They can just fucking bicker all the way through the courts, keep the media low profile, and even if they get caught out, because none of us really know about fucking what Pharma's done, the $2.3 billion fine they got for fraudulent tests, coercion, changing data, manipulating, paying off doctors, conflicts of interest, all that stuff happened to it. And do you remember it? Of course you don't. It's true, and you still believe in these people. You still believe in this thing, this product. What's it got to do with dog shit? Everything. Fucking everything. Oi, come on. You decide the most obvious things. If no one's going to step in it, if it's a victimless crime, you decide about what is required. That's a shit fucking segue, wasn't it? Anyway, snuff's a snuff, I reckon. I don't know what the time is. I can't see on there. Can I? It's after 10. But no one's chasing down the beach yet, coming for me. No one's shouted out yet. Look how busy it is. Have a look. I'll just give you a little flip on this. Okay, this is Port Phillip Bay. Alright, that's Melbourne over there. I'll just zoom in. Can you see Melbourne? There's Melbourne there. There it is. There she blows. That's Melbourne. And then over here, Williamstown. And then over there, that's the You-Yangs. Can you see that? That's the You-Yangs, which is a kind of mountain range. Sort of out the back towards Geelong, which is kind of over there somewhere. Which is another major city on the other side of the bay. And you can just see some land masses on that side. That's Indented Head, right on the other side of the bay. And over here, that, I can't see through that over there, that's like Sorrento Way. And there's a small gap there. It's only about 1 kilometre or so across. And that's where all this massive Port Phillip Bay pours in and out. And here we are here. That's Bond Beach. Look at this guy here, he's waiting patiently. Hey buddy. Breaking the rules. And I won't admit, I think it's funny when people get so upset about someone breaking the rules. Someone will just look out their window and go, oh my God, he's got his dog off the lead, and it's after 10. Just check yourself if you're doing that. You see a dog shit under a tree and there's like, it's fenced off and it's obviously just going to stay there. No one's going to step. Just check yourself if you think, hey, excuse me, you got a thing. Check yourself. But people want to remind people of the rules because it lets them know, I know what the right thing is and I'm doing the right thing and I'm actually going out of my way to make sure that you also do the right thing. The right thing is the wrong thing a lot of the time. Anyway, there's no getting away from it. Just be consistent and be rational, sensible, bit of common sense. If he shits down there, I'm picking that up. If he shits on the beach over there, I'm picking that up. If he goes up into those dunes and shits around a bush, top of a snake's head, I'm not going to pick it up. It stays there. So anyone watching this, and you walk this beach, don't be surprised if I ignore you. Okay? Get on with your fucking life. No, it's found a stick. Like I said, this is what he does. Look. What's going on? Oh, it's like he knows he's on camera. Oh, I'll zoom in again. Anyway, alright. So yeah, this is about dog shit and a whole lot more. No shame. No fear.